Hi everyone, I wanted to share a few things about my journey so far and about some of my frustrations, particularly with masking. Not autistic masking, but masking on paint. I've been using masking fluid for the first time. It's been a bit hit and miss. I will show you, if I'm brave enough, the miss as well as the hits. So let me talk a bit about how I started back into art, which was really because I got my ADHD medication and it meant that I was able to finally finish a project to a point where I was happy. And so my first piece was reflecting that. So here we are. I used masking fluid on this, so I did the eye first and then the background for the circuit diagram. It's supposed to show that the medication supercharges things while other things get dampened if there's no medication. However, I've had some advice from a very clever lady, who's also my daughter, who tells me that it's all wrong, and she's told me how to make a diagram that would make more sense. And there is going to be a follow-up piece, and that will have the updated diagram, and hopefully that will work. I showed this to my mum and dad. My dad said, "Oh, that reminds me of the Eye of Horus," and I was like, "Oh, that is amazing," because actually it's to do with healing, and that is what this piece is about. So my next attempt looks like this. Obviously not finished, but I tried to get a super realistic eye. I don't know, does it work? Maybe. I put some papier-mâché down and raised up the Eye of Horus, painted it with thick layers, well, not thick layers, layers and layers of gold paint. So there's quite a lot there. And I have learnt from my disaster that I now have to leave it for 2 to 4 weeks before masking the gold and the eye and doing the background like I did on this one, followed by the circuit diagram done in masking and then a top layer. So there's a lot to do still. Actually, it's probably a quarter done at the moment. But it's the waiting I find really hard. I'll explain in a minute. So this, in between those two pieces, I decided to try and do something that was a bit more naive. Can you see what's going on there? Because I felt like doing something fun. But I put masking fluid where I wanted the letters to come through. They were going to be like rainbow colours underneath, and pearlescent rainbow colours were supposed to be where the letters weren't. As you can see, it took up the paint because I did not wait long enough for the paint to dry. And I really kicking myself, but I'm going to save it because I really like the concept behind it. So it's going to be called Become an Ally. So up here it says like embrace colour. That is from my town. Those sheep are the sheep you see opposite the supermarket, and that is the kind of cow that we have by the river. So it's very much rooted in my town. That is going to be a particular hill that we love in our town called Colmers Hill. It's going to have trees on top to reflect, just like Colmers Hill does, but I'm doing them last. So this lady, all in grey, boo, boring, no colour there, and she's just gazing across to this other hill. And if you can see, next to the sheepy sheeps, there's a person dressed in trans colours beckoning her over. And yeah, in my head, she's going to go over and she's going to meet this person and, you know, just be genuine with them. And embrace the colour, as it says up there. So that is something I'm also working on, but in order to fix this, I'm first going to mask all of that, do a quick sand on there, put some more gesso down and get on with the masking again. So it's going to take a long time to fix, but I think it's worth it. In the meantime, I've got to keep myself busy because I can't stop fiddling with things and noticing things that need doing better, and I've got to stop because it's I'll never be able to mask it if I don't stop. So I've decided to do a bigger version of this. I wasn't really happy with this. Her head's too small and her breasts are too big. But I'm going to do a bigger version of this, hopefully in the right proportions. And she's going to have a little cannula there. This is something I painted when my aunt got a cancer diagnosis. But she will not be sad about things. It's not in her nature, and she laughs about things, and she says such funny things about what's going on for her. And this one, when the big one, will be called Smiling into the Sunset, and it's gonna be just, you know, the cannula's there just to remind you that it's the end of their life and they're being medically helped. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know, but it's worth a try. Yeah, it'll hopefully stop me from fiddling around with this lot and making me wait longer to mask it. So that's what I've been up to and where I am at the moment. Let me know what you think. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's going to work with the Eye of Horus? Be kind, but do let me know. Bye.